Alright, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Vinland Saga, episode 5. Five.
Oh boy.
We lost Mufasa.
Yeah, because episode
Thors
4
is dead.
is that.
He's
oh boy. And
super dead.
Oh boy. And now Thorfinn is in the ship getting towed.
And he's
And
being towed behind Askeladd's
Yep.
mercenary band's ships.
But here we go. This is where the story truly begins. His journey. He's got his father's knife, and oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be amazing, but also suck.
He has one of the most just visceral, angry, hatred, sadness, rage-filled faces on his face when he's being towed behind, and Askeladd's looking at him, and he's just like staring him down, just daggers in his eyes.
And the thing is that in a lot of cases with other shows, I would be like, oh, hey there, Mr. Edgelord, like, you know, settle down now. But the thing is that in this case, because of how they built up Thors, because of how Thors really was just this amazing paragon guy, right? The fact that he's dead when he shouldn't have, right? He absolutely shouldn't have. It's not just the fact that the assassins were sent after him, right?
Yeah.
But he should not have died.
Yeah.
And that it was to protect Thorfinn. Like, you know, he should not blame himself, but the Scar saying is true.
Yeah.
If you hadn't been there, Mufasa would still be alive. So Yeah.
So, here we go, y'all. Vinland Saga. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Alright, straight into the OP.
Yes.
Oh boy. Oh man. I'm so excited to have a rogue main character.
Right, yeah.
Especially when, like, they've built up so many of the other opponents that he'll be facing to be, like, these big meat sack dudes. Oh, and this opening is so just,
And that's how you use 3D. Those ships, that's how you use it. Blending with the 2D, it's perfect. I just realized that burial part there kind of fits perfectly for a potential Thor's grave as well.
Oh yeah.
Because that part, yeah. I'm excited to meet them, that trio. Yeah, but it could be imagining that his father is there when he's actually not.
Oh yeah,
And they're crying. Oh. It's my painkiller. Troll's son.
Oh boy.
Nice. Oh yeah. No, don't drink seawater. No, don't. Oh, it's so gross. Oh, yeah, that would actually dehydrate him even more.
Yep.
Oh, buddy. England, okay. Okay, gotcha.
All right.
Let me see if he's gonna try to run, maybe.
Well, or at the very least, get some real water.
Just gonna follow them to where they're bathing, probably. Please don't let this be like Berserk. Please don't let this be like Berserk.
It's gonna be fine.
Oh, he is that weak. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, the first elements of Stockholm Syndrome come in where he's like, maybe
Wait,
they
did
left.
they leave me?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. And that actually looks pretty clean.
I mean
it's
not really.
not, but yeah.
But yeah, it's a fresh river, you know, or swampy Brooke. Okay. Oh, they're raiding a town, probably.
Sure, but I mean, they said they were here to just rest up a bit.
Oh. What the? What is this guy? Whoa!
Wow!
What the heck? Who are those guys?
I don't know.
Were those other Vikings that are basically like, they're just watching to see if people try to escape? I think they are. Like, that's what I said, you know, we can't let this get out. Oh, because they're going to attack England and they don't want England to know that other Vikings are already here, you know?
Sure.
They have to wait for it to be timed with the... Oh. Whoa. He's like, knife is too,
He's breathing so loudly.
Yeah, so loud, yeah. Oh my god.
This definitely has a guts feel to it.
Yeah. Yo, do it. Oh, no, he can't. Oh.
Now, is this because he knows he'd die if he did, or is it because
and then Askeladd's,
Thors said, yeah, not to kill?
Wow. Ha ha ha. Nice. He stole someone's sword. Oh, he wants it to be an official duel. Yeah. Just like, yeah. Oh. Oh.
I won't. Yeah, I won't fight underhanded. But that's why he's dead.
Wow, I'm scared. Kill him, kid. They're like rooting for him. They're like kick. Yep. That sword is heavy.
Way too big for him.
Well, he's also a little kid, you know.
Yeah. He'd be better off with the knife.
Yeah, and here's where he teaches him. Maybe he's dead already. Oh, come on, Thorfinn. Oh,
that's five other pounds of gold.
Yeah. So he didn't want to go specifically to Floki,
right? For safety. For safety,
yeah,
that tons of sense.
That's really smart. Yeah. Oh wow. What a liar. Now he's gonna be the little dog of basically all the mercenaries and stuff. They're like, hey, we were trying to be good people. Like, what's your deal? Like, yeah, it sucks, kid, but like...
And we did, you know, kill your dad, but, you know, it's just business.
Oh, man, that's gonna be the cool part, is that the mercs will end up being, like, named characters that we'll get to know and appreciate for, like, different, random reasons and stuff. Oh, here are the bones left over. You're gonna gnaw on them, yeah. Yeah. Oh my god, this kid, y'all! This kid!
It's them.
Yeah, going back, yeah. Yeah. Wow, it's a little... This is her way of grieving?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they would have noticed that he was gone. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow. No. I am half giant after all, or half troll after all.
Yeah.
Oh, she's gonna try and do everything herself and...
Yep.
Wait, Nani? What?
Fishing?
Okay. Wow.
Whoa!
Wow. That's not a fish, that's a
whale. That's a
whale, yeah. I love how they're not showing her face at multiple moments like this. Stop. Oh, pain is something that's so easy to try and distract yourself from, and then like try and put away, but it just makes it it just makes it hurt more when you accept it, and then oh. No. Oh, that's a shot right there. That's a shot.
Yeah.
That looked very guts like, you know. Yo. Oh. It's kind of interesting how they put up with him now because of it. Like, they emotionally understand there.
Right.
But, like, if you had him be 6 years older, it might get annoying enough to the point where they're like,
yeah. 6 years older, they might actually just be like, all right, we'll just kill him.
Yeah, you need to learn, like, what the law is around here. I wonder who's gonna bring it up first. Oh. Into his usual routine of eating the bone marrow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And the problem is with these things is that one of them performs a distraction while the other one creeps up from behind.
Well, unless this is an Omega like him.
Oh,
you know,
sure.
The weak outcast.
Yeah, it does look kind of small. But, I mean...
Hey!
Oh, yep.
Oh,
yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's not gonna die instantly, but it's now dying. Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
Oh, and the blood looks so viscous.
Yep.
Yeah, your stealth abilities are pretty throwing a knife too.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, no way. Oh, no way. This is cool.
Man.
We got ourselves a little montage going
here.
They did, yeah. Oh. Dang. So yeah, those were the Vikings, and that's their scout, basically. Daga kotowaru. You know? Because I have no choice. You're gonna have a little thing here, and then he'll throw the knife and he'll like hit his leg, and he'll be like, "Oh, you kid!" And then, and he'll like,
right.
Oh! He just used intimidating stare.
It's the, do you really want to do this?
Right. Askeladd's actually a pretty decent guy for not just killing the kid at this point.
I mean, I'm sure he doesn't want to kill a kid, right? Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. All the air out of his lungs. Yeah.
And this is where he's basically teaching him, like, don't just ask someone to a duel when you can't win.
Yeah. Teaching him, in some ways, the rogue's, you know, method. Oh. Yep. Oh! Good reflexes, Askeladd! Oh my god! That's the moment where he's like, oh. Okay, wow. Wow.
Then you can die.
He's still holding it two-handed, you know?
Whoa.
Whoa.
It's acknowledgement right there.
Oh,
man.
The pain of loss.
Oh, man.
The promise of basically vengeance, and then you have...
But then the knowledge that by the time he finally gets to that point, he probably won't even... Like he'll want to kill Thorkel, but... Or Askeladd, but...
Yeah, Askeladd, yeah.
But,
yeah.
But if he does...
Yeah.
It will be a bittersweet thing.
Yeah. In some ways, I don't see Askeladd dying anytime soon. This is more of a thing of where it's going to be more complicated than that, because Askeladd is going to end up being another father figure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the mercenaries will end up being his older brothers, and then he'll have killed tons of other people on battlefields and such. Then, you know, yeah.
Oh, man.
That was good. That was really good.
Oh,
the whole thing with Ylva, though, of, you know,
that
pushing it down and kind of compartmentalizing the pain so you don't have to feel it.
It's so real.
That's real, yeah.
Oh, man.
Beautiful. Wow. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, this is kind of how I figured it would go, but it's still seeing it. It's good.
It's really
so good.
Yeah.
Oh man.
We have our ending past, you know, the death of the wonderful paragon of Viking
manliness and
all that.
Yeah.
And yet I love that we had 0 flashbacks. We had 0, you know, moments of kind of reminiscing on that whole thing. The only real thing that kind of they thought back to was just a couple words that were said.
Right. This was very much a show rather than tell.
Yeah, and then everyone deals with it in their own way. I love that there were reiterations of Thorfinn's promise here, but we also have the new promise in Leif, who is like, I am going to find him. You know, no matter what it takes. And Vikings, you know, could converge at that meeting place for the big invasion of England. And Leif and, you know...
And the thing is that...
bump into each other again.
If he finds him, Thorfinn won't go.
Well...
I don't think so. Because
or he might not be allowed to go. We'll see.
Sure, might not be allowed to go, but the thing is, like I don't think, you know... Askeladd would really care, you know, like he's a kid, so they probably wouldn't think much of it. But in the case of
I don't know.
I mean there could be extenuating circumstances, but even if he did have the option to go, I don't think he would, because he has the mission now.
Yeah.
You know?
Another reason, though, is that would you rather have the person that swears vengeance upon you to be next to you with your band of mercenaries, or out there just growing up, you know, looming over your head with kind of like this knowledge of, oh, he's going to come for you eventually.
Someday, yeah.
And but this way you get to mold him and shape him and grow him into a person that might not do that, or also might end up actually helping you. Who knows?
And at the same time, there's a part of me that wonders. So, Askeladd was very much aware that Thorfinn had that sword above his head, right?
Oh yeah.
But he didn't do anything to stop him.
Well, because
I mean, he ended up being right in the sense that Thorfinn didn't actually, you know, try and swing, and with his reflexes, I'm sure he could have stopped him.
Yeah, he's known to be very quick, based on what we've seen thus far.
Absolutely.
But also, like, you know, Thorfinn was breathing so heavily that when he went to swing, he would have done a big, like, you know, like inhale.
Oh, sure. There would have been a ton of signs and things like that. But there's this part of me that wonders, given how he's interacted with Thorfinn, given the fact that he's basically allowing Thorfinn the opportunity to get better, so that eventually he could come after him for vengeance and stuff. And the whole thing of, you know, earn something on the battlefield, there's definitely the possibility that Thorfinn could die, and then, you know, that doesn't happen. And then, you know, then Askeladd doesn't have to worry about it.
Or he gains an ally rather than an enemy throughout this whole growing period.
Sure. But there's a part of me that would not be surprised if Askeladd was basically saying, hey, if he can actually muster up the gumption to kill me in my sleep, then
he deserves to do that.
Then he deserves to do that. You know?
I like that. I like that angle of things, for sure. Yeah.
And then when he chooses to do the stupid thing that is the way his father would have done things, he's like, no, I'm not going to let you do that, right?
Right.
You know, which is, you know, in a lot of ways just basically teaching him and saying, hey, you don't get the option to do that.
You're not that strong.
You're not that strong.
Yeah.
And even someone who was that strong, like Thor, still ended up dead.
Yeah.
You know,
good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some really good tracks going on when Thorfinn was trying to just fight to survive by, you know, drinking seawater, you know, stumbling around the forest looking for fresh water. The moment with the little coyote wolf dog thing was perfect in two ways. I think there's probably more, but there's this feeling, I think, that that is in Thorfinn's head, that there's this idea of honor in killing. And he believes in some ways that it's because of maybe why they're being killed or who's doing the killing that makes it honorable.
Or the way that they're doing it, kind of a thing.
Well, I don't even know if it's the way. I mean, we'll see. But the idea of when he kills the wolf, the dog, there's so much blood. It shows him the messy, dirty, real-world aspects of killing, in that it shakes you up a little bit. Now, we don't know if he's going to be, you know, like, constantly haunted by a dog the rest of his life or anything like that.
He's going to be haunted by different things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I like the idea that his first kill wasn't a person, because he still has to build up to that.
Right.
And when his first kill wasn't a person, it's going to be even more dramatic, even more... Like the idea that when he stabs the wolf, it doesn't die instantly, which is unrealistic.
It squirms around and has to pull itself
off the dagger.
It
kind of yelps, and it like trembles a little bit, and it has this like almost this look into his eyes of like, you killed me. And like, you know,
then it sort of just lays down.
It basically just falls asleep almost. It looks like that.
Blood loss,
Yeah. And the idea that happens so quickly, and then he looks back at the hands and the knife and everything like that, and it's like, oh, that's perfect. But imagine what it's going to be like for a person that can talk, that can communicate, that's going to be like crying for their mother, and there's going to be like, you know, shitting themselves as they die or what have you, and he's just going to see all that, smell all that, do all that, and just have this moment of like...
And at the same time, because of how the journey that he will go on before that happens, and that he started to go on, I don't think it'll be much worse than him killing the wolf. Because
Possibly.
it'll basically feel like more of the same at that point, you know.
Really? Oh,
like,
man.
Like I'm sure they'll well, especially if it's on a battlefield.
I don't think it's going to be on a battlefield, though.
Oh, yeah?
I think it's going to be something where...
Yes, like
battlefield for Vikings, though? Like...
Sure. Well,
like...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he could get unlucky, and it's like it's some, you know, villager or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
And it's more like they've got, like, people that are, you know, trying to defend the place.
Sure.
And he's like, I won't do it. And they're like, no, you have to. Like, get out there and do that. And then he gets put into a situation where one of them sees him and is like, wait, are you a threat? And then he sees him holding the knife or something, and then they attack him, and he goes,
sure.
And then it becomes this tussle.
And they could also do the thing where maybe the person hesitates, right? Because in the case of, say, Askeladd, right? He's a badass. So the fact that Thorfinn's trying to kill him all these times and, you know, came pretty close to doing some actual damage is no problem because he's a badass and he can just you know, deflect that, right?
Uncanny dodge.
Yeah, exactly. I took a few levels in Monk, you know.
Right.
But for a regular person, they won't necessarily be able to do that. And any bit of hesitation could be what ends up helping Thorfinn actually be able to secure the kill, because he's at a huge disadvantage. Huge disadvantage. And then what would that do potentially to a psyche of this person that's like, no, I can't kill a kid, you know, and then he kills them. Like, that's, you know.
I'm also impressed that we haven't done any time skips yet.
Oh, I'm very happy about that.
So, like, is it going to be a thing of where they'll go and rendezvous up with the Vikings at some point? Mm-hmm. They'll go invade England, and he's useless. Like, there's no way he's going to be any like use to anything there.
They'll maybe have him sneak around, you know, to try and like get information or, you know, whatever. Right,
but they could use the war as a time skip mechanism to basically have the world change dramatically, and then therefore it would give maybe Leif Erikson giving some exposition about like, hey, so then this happens and this happens. I've been looking for the boy for this amount of time.
Well, and even just time in between battles, because like I can't imagine that the battles would be happening like that, especially if they're large scale conflicts, would be happening that rapidly. Because there'd be time in between of, you know, moving and organizing, especially if they're not just a part of, you know, Askeladd's band of Vikings, but it's like larger conflict armies, things like that.
Right, like a bunch of warlords and chiefs all together.
Yep.
And then there's like a king who's leading them with an army.
That could all slow stuff down, which gives Thorfinn more of a chance to grow up, you know, so that they could do the montage if they wanted to without actually doing like a more, you know, hard time skip.
Gotcha.
You know, they could still basically do what they've been doing really well of showing rather than telling, and just
montage it.
Yeah, exactly. And even have it be something where we actually go fairly in depth into each event, but the events are spaced 8 months apart. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
Or
you
something
do it all in
those lines.
one episode or so.
Yeah.
Big thing though with Askeladd, his character seems to be one that is. They're trying to go and do the I don't kill kids kind of thing.
Or at least I don't like killing kids.
I don't like killing kids. But here's something I found very interesting about the Raiders' life, now that I think about it, is that there's no women. They all just kind of live the, you know, the rogue and
barbarian and fighter
kind of life, you know? And, do you think that there's a possibility that he has any similarities to Thors in that he has a wife out there somewhere with a kid, and he has kind of the I don't like killing kids because I've now I have a kid of my own somewhere out there.
And did Thors ask him, or did he ask Floki if they had kids?
That's actually a really good point.
He asked someone like, you know, do you have a family?
No, you're right. It was Askeladd he asked. And
Askeladd doesn't, right?
Yeah.
So
but
But what's the thing that you're getting at? Are you getting at just the similarities of of does Askeladd have family, or are you getting at like maybe the moral quandaries that Askeladd could get into because of that?
No, I'm getting into the ideas of that there's parallels that they're trying to draw between Thors and Askeladd.
Yes, definitely.
And Askeladd lied to his messengers saying that the way that Thors went out was nothing special.
Right.
Which is not true.
Right.
Not true at all. Now, maybe the way you killed him was nothing special, in that you just had archers riddle his back.
Right.
And then he died standing up.
Right. Well, I think the reason for that is because if it was just that Thors died in a significant way, that wouldn't really matter too much. It's like, yes, he was the troll of Yams, and he took out 2 warships by himself, but we ended up taking him down with arrows or whatever.
Right. He doesn't have to give details.
Right. But the thing is,
because that compromises the reputation of his crew a little bit too.
Yeah. But I think the reason why he doesn't say or why he lied is because it was something that had an impact on him as a person.
Right. That's my point. Yeah.
And that he doesn't want to mention that because that's a vulnerability, right? And don't tell people that especially could be your enemies. Like he sent 2 men as messengers to collect the money because he didn't want to go there because Floki could very well just kill him, right?
Yeah. In fact, that's probably what would have happened.
Yep.
Because of the way Floki wanted this to be kind of hush-hush, just in general.
Yep. And probably the only reason why this worked is because, if he, were to, I don't know, kill those 2 or whatever, then suddenly Askeladd's an enemy and
he's on the alert.
Right, exactly. And he also did this work for you and, he could tell people or whatever, right? There's all kinds of bad stuff that could happen. But
yeah, my point is that they're trying to bring up an element of honor into Askeladd,
right,
while contradicting it with the elements of his own, I would say, pride / dishonor.
Sure, right, because with the whole raiding and pillaging, you're not just killing men, you're killing women and children too.
Well, they are dying on your orders.
Right, whether he specifically is killing them
he
or
might
not.
make the difference though. Like he might care very much.
That
might help him sleep at night.
Right. Well, and I would say this might be something where the whole thing of I don't like killing kids. He, it might have been something where he didn't like it, but whatever, it's part of the job, I guess. This sucks, But since Thors, more recently, it's like, yeah, I don't like killing kids.
Yeah, I just feel like guys his age don't change that quickly. So I'm gonna go out on a limb there and say the twist with Askeladd is he's very similar to Thors in certain ways. In certain ways,
and then in other ways, complete opposite.
Well, and then the life he lives is completely different to the Thors that we met. But here's the thing that's going to be, I'd say, because the thing I find interesting about Askeladd is he's basically just says character development for Thorfinn, like written in bold over his head.
Sure.
Like it's plain as day. But the thing is that what kind of development does this raider, pillager, mercenary leader give to someone like him? Well, he doesn't just make him stronger. He helps develop and change who he is as a person.
Right.
And I think that's the thing, is that Thorfinn hasn't solidified into his own person yet. He's still a kid. He's still emulating his father. He's not acting on his own, if that makes sense. We saw some elements of him thinking on his own here, and that was kind of cool. But I'm trying to bridge the gap in that Askeladd is going to make Thorfinn into more like him,
right?
Which will end up tying back to the idea that he will still end up somewhat being like Thors, but not the Thors the pacifist. Thors maybe more the ruthless warrior. The idea that over the course of this story, Thorfinn could learn about basically, oh, do you know what your father was really like? Like, do you know the stories of what? Oh, we've heard stories like,
well, right,
kind of that getting passed around, and even Askeladd maybe even kind of like helping reinforce that by being like, I don't know your father, but I know what he probably was like.
Well, and I think Thorfinn knows that too, because he's heard enough stories in recent times to know that, right?
Like which ones?
Being the leader of the Jomsvikings Vikings and being a badass warrior and things like that. And I think the reason why he was frustrated with his father was because his father seemed to spurn something that seemed so cool, right? My father's a badass. My father's awesome, you know. And then his father's like, no, I don't fight. I don't kill people. And he's like, what? Why? You're the, you know, what about honor and glorious combat, you know, and whatnot? You're, you know, and all these people are saying you're one of the greatest, you know. Why not? And now he's starting to see what it's actually like, which is, in a way, connecting with his father. But when it comes to Askeladd, what I'm really hoping they do is that they... And I think they're doing this so far, because you know how you mentioned that, like, Askeladd's older, so he's not going to change quickly, right? Yeah. I think that's one of the things that will make this interaction be super memorable, is that, like any good teaching situation, the teacher learns more than the actual student. Right. Right. And that the growth that Askeladd also goes on will be because of seeing Thorfinn and how Thorfinn struggles and everything that he does, right? And it'll be this reminder of Thors and, you know, the man he killed.
Yeah. But that leads towards him... Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. I just see that as being a thing of where it's like, well, obviously Askeladd's going to change in some way, but that's more of a like a thing of where, yeah, I am lost for words actually, because what I'm trying to say is that Askeladd is going to end up being a similar figure in Thorfinn's life, like Thors was, but the whole thing of how he'll influence Thorfinn is that Thorfinn will actually become more like Askeladd.
Right. Yeah.
Which will end up making him more like Thors. But if you're saying that Askeladd changes to be maybe a better man in some ways because of Thorfinn, who is trying to emulate Thors in his mind, then it all just ends up being cyclical, and it just ends up being the same way anyway.
I don't think so, because what I think will be the most sort of poetic way for this to go is that you start out Askeladd's the scoundrel, Thors is the awesome paragon. Because Askeladd's the scoundrel, he beats Thors, you know, who cares about his son and all that stuff. And Thors was telling his son, don't, you know, they're like basically teaching him about the brutality of war and how amazing of a thing peace is, right? Thors dies by the violent person, right? So naturally, the kid swears vengeance, which is the exact opposite thing that Thors would have wanted him to do, right? And is now going to become like the violent person. But while that's happening, the violent person, because they were so impacted by Thors and gets this reminder from Thorfinn, even though Thorfinn is going the other direction, they're going to do this. And then that's how the relationship is going to be so similar to Thor's, because there's going to come a point where now Thorfinn is the bloodthirsty one, and Askeladd basically, one, has changed because of all of this stuff that happened, but also looks at the son of this man and says, I helped turn him into this. Something like what I am, and also like what I used to be, but there's this part of him that wonders if he maybe could be different. What was it about that guy that I killed? And I killed him, so, you know, that's obviously not the best way to, you know, go about, you know, living when you're a warrior and whatnot. But there's still something about it that, you know, sticks in my mind. And now suddenly his, you know, but because of the way the world works and how you know, he interacts with Thorfinn and killing Thors, Thorfinn will turn into a bloodthirsty, you know, maniac with knives that will be on a quest for vengeance.
Yeah, I just feel like that just ends with Askeladd dead, though.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Askeladd's gonna die eventually.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, I don't think so. Like, I don't think he's gonna die by Thorfinn's hand in a bloodthirsty vengeance type of way.
He might not. I think that would be really cool.
I think it's going to come to the full revolution where Askeladd's going to have a point where he's dying. Like, I'm thinking like way far into the future. And
Thorfinn's there.
Thorfinn's going to be sad.
Right. It's going to be the second time that his father is basically taken from him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Yeah. And that'll probably be long time from now. Yeah.
I just don't see it being a thing where they switch places, basically, with the triumvirate, basically, where Askeladd goes to Thors' spot,
Not completely.
Well, right, but Thors basically ends up not, he's just dying, he's gone, and then Thorfinn takes Askeladd's spot. Like, that ended up being a thing where I think it would be too simple. If this story didn't have the kind of the idea of it going for a long period of time with regards to Thorfinn's life, him growing up and stuff, then maybe I would think that. But because he's starting off so young, I feel like we have to go well beyond even what the OP is showing us and into like adulthood.
Well, yeah, that is the real question here, is that if they want this story to be something that continues for a very long time, how do they maintain the focus of the main character towards a specific concrete goal? Because if he's got a list and he wants revenge and things like that, okay, great. Right now he's got, Askeladd, the big dude, I forget his name.
Floki?
No. There's Floki, but then also the mushroom eating guy.
Yeah.
But basically, those three names, right? And given that Askeladd might go off that list, that's what do we do after that, right? If we have Askeladd also die, then that could be an interesting thing of it turning into another vengeance thing, and then potentially like other people associated with Floki, but.
Here's how they could make it go your way and my way is it gets cut short. Askeladd dies on the battlefield and he never gets his duel. He never gets to commit his own vengeance, basically. So Askeladd basically dies and then he's crying over his body, being like,
and he's so confused because he's like, I hated this man, I wanted to kill him.
Exactly.
Yeah, why am I mourning him? Yeah.
And it's not just the thing of where he's having his vengeance robbed. It's like this guy's probably gonna have like a peaceful death of where he just gets his throat slit and then
or something where basically he's dying and Thorfinn's there.
Yeah.
So not some his head gets chopped off by an axe and whatever.
Okay. Yeah, lots of good stuff. Them dealing with the mourning there.
Yep.
That
was fantastic.
Was really good. We have Leif back in there, so now we know what's going on in Iceland. They raided a little village in England. We saw now what the mercenary band of Askeladd is capable of, and how there are distinctive members beyond just Mushroom Guy
Mushroom
and
Man.
Askeladd.
Yeah.
Mushroom Man.
Take me by the hand. Oh man.
And then Floki has now paid Askeladd.
Yep, so their deal is done.
Yeah.
But Floki might still not like the fact that, there's someone out there that knows what he did.
Right, but they've cleared off all the side things so that they can go hard on focusing on Thorfinn's growth and development, which we'll probably get into next episode, which will be exciting.
I can't wait for.
Yeah, so y'all, if you want to see that next episode's reaction discussion right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us about these stories, about anime in general, about stories, whatever. And you can also talk with Jacob about his book that he just wrote.
My sci-fi novel, Battle Lines, is still available for order on Amazon. The link is in the description below, so go check it out. Leave a review. Let people know what you think.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.